Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. You are watching The Vuyo Show. We are coming to you from New York City. And as we do every single episode, bring you an incredible guest that you need to definitely know all about. And my next guest, ladies and gents, is a fabulous DJ right here from New York City. She has gone on to pioneer a movement, a sound, and a culture right here in this amazing city. She is a DJ, a producer, and of course, the lady behind the wave of Amapiano in New York City. Help me welcome onto the show the one and only AQT. I added the last syllable that we now have included in your name.
Exactly. AQutie, that is me.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good, boo. I'm good. I am, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
For sure. I think it's definitely been one of those long time coming situations where I've been looking forward to sitting down with you because I've just been so intrigued by, the artistry in which you put out. But I've also been a bit curious, just to get to know you a little bit more and, just ask some questions that maybe myself and some of your fans as well might want to know and be curious about. So thank you for coming on the show. There's a bit of a matching. We didn't even plan this, the matching situation with the hair and the dress.
Yes.
But AQ, first, I think the first question that I've had in my mind was a lot of the times when there's AKAs, it's derivative of something.
Yes.
So the AQ in your name, which is what we all know you by, is it AQ for your initials?
No, not at all.
Where does it come from?
Not at all. AQ came from African Queen. So in college, my friends called me that, and then I just shortened it once I decided to start DJing. And then, so I went from African Queen, then I went to AQ, and then AQutie came earlier this year. I did the rebrand because there were just a lot of AQs, like more than you know. Like, I just didn't want the confusion. I wanted to just be original. I wanted to be unique. And my friends name me. So my friend calls me AQ, like he just called me AQutie one day, and I was like, oh, this sticks.
It does.
So now I'm AQutie.
Okay. So it doesn't come. But what is your
My actual name?
Your actual name? Yeah.
It's Khadija.
Khadija.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my real name.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. No.
I know a lot of people don't know unless you're like my close friend, obviously, because I have so many friends from so many walks of life.
Yeah.
Like I have friends from high school, like my best friends. We've been friends for years now.
Yeah.
So they know me as that. So like even them, the transition from going from Khadija to AQ to AQutie, like they don't even call me they don't call me my stage name. They just call me Khadija. Or they just don't call me that at all. Like, we just have that relationship where we just, we can communicate without having to like say names or whatever. But yeah.
The evolution then, I guess it's kind of just like
it is, it definitely is an evolution in many ways.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah. But you mentioned in our convo earlier on, Harlem kind of being a very staple part of your identity as a person. What association do you have with Harlem? It's one of the parts of New York that everyone around the world knows.
Yes,
right?
Legendary location, legendary history. I'm from Harlem, born and raised. I'm from Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill is like known for being the area where the black upper echelons resided, back in the day during the Harlem Renaissance. So it's still very rich in the culture. A lot of people that live in Harlem are still there, unless they're not because of gentrification. But a lot of us are still there that are from Harlem. I love it. It's my home. As much as South Africa and, Guinea is my home. I like to call myself a diaspora baby because I have so many different elements to me. As much as I'm African, I'm also Black American.
Yeah.
I can't take that away. Like, you see it in the way I dress, in the way I grew up. The way I talk, the culture of who I am, but I also make sure that people know that I'm African. So Harlem is a huge identity. It's a big part of who I am, and I love it. I embrace it. I love being able to have those different nuances of myself. I feel like it makes me very eclectic.
And it sets you apart really from the rest, right? Because there's there's something to identify you by. That you have these other nuances to you. South Africa, I know, is also a big part.
Yes, it's a
everyone
huge
who's South
part.
African wants to be friends with AQ in New York. Like, you need to know AQ.
And the South African community is growing because, even because my mom and her friends and her generation, they had their own moment. You know what I'm saying? It would probably, I don't want to say it was not as big as the moment we're in now, but they set the groundwork for us. And my mom is a pillar of the community. And there's a lot of other people that we know whose parents are also huge pillars of the community that set the foundation for us. Doing small things like brides every year to commemorate, the different things that we celebrate at home because we're not home right now.
Yeah.
We're here in New York. So I love connecting with people from home because even now I'm seeing more people come through. Maybe it's like just our time now where like just when our parents came, they were seeing their groups of people come. So now we're also having that now. And now that there's such a big thing about coming to the States and like people knowing about South African culture, I see a lot of younger South Africans now just coming and like making names for themselves, connecting with the community. It's really nice.
Yeah. And when you were in Harlem, growing up in Harlem, what did you know about South Africa? What ideas, images did you visit South Africa quite frequently to strengthen that connection?
Yeah,
when you were younger?
My mom sent me home every year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've been going home since I was 1.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
And where in South Africa are you from?
KZN.
Ah, Zulu Natal.
Zulu Natal. I'm a Zulu girl. But honestly, it was as much as I was growing up in Harlem, it was Harlem outside, but South Africa at home.
Nice.
I grew up on dishes from home. Like I didn't miss anything. I grew up on the music, the culture. My mom sending me back home, helping me understand who I am, helping me understand Zulu. Like, just learning about it. Honestly, I thank her for that because she could have easily not taught me anything.
Yeah, for sure.
She could have really easily not taught me anything. So I'm really grateful for that because it's a big part of who I am now and what I've done in the city, in America.
Yeah.
Not even New York, just in America.
For sure.
I feel like I have a great sense of purpose to like push my culture, and it helped me understand myself more too. Help me realize my identity and like, not to forget who I am, and because
it can be easy.
Yeah, it can be quick, very quick. Because when I was growing up, it was not cool to be African. I could have easily not even embraced myself. So, but my mom put a huge sense of pride in me, and I love the culture. I love who we are as a people.
And I'm curious now, like so in those trips and those visits back to South Africa, what did you see as kind of vast differences between the two countries, or cultures that you were like, this, now I know I'm in South Africa, and now I know I'm in New York or I'm in America because of these two things that spark or differences between the two countries? Or did you even see that as a child, or you were just like...
Yeah, of course, definitely. I saw it for sure, but then I think also a part of me was just like, I just embraced it so much because my mom being here in New York, I didn't miss out. So like I feel like when I got back home, it just kind of felt natural to just be home, I mean, the obvious difference is, I told people, like I was telling someone last night, because people love saying South Africa is got the white people. And I'm like, the majority of South Africa is black.
A big majority.
And that's the one thing I noticed when I went back home.
Yeah.
Is that everybody was black. That's just obviously so obvious, that's I don't even know if that's a dumb thing to say. But like when I go home, I love it because I'm just like, everybody here is black. And I just love it. But then when you come here, obviously there's like so many different cultures of people. But I felt like just being within my people was just like a different experience, like, and it's different kinds of black people, it's way different. It's not like here, because here you got Caribbean, you got all different kinds, you got Black Americans, and a big part of me, and a big part of myself being from Harlem, I'm also like low-key Caribbean too, You know, I feel like when I went back to South Africa, I was like, oh yeah, like I have so many identities to me. And it was just so apparent. I'm like, wow, like I'm embodying so many different kinds of cultures. Like it was overwhelming in a good way. And another thing I noticed too, just the music culture is different. Like the music culture is crazy. Like South Africans party to survive. You know, the party culture, the music culture, it's engraved in us. Like I feel like we've always been singing through the struggle. So like it's a different kind of expression when it comes to like the way that people celebrate and enjoy music and enjoy each other.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell people, I'm like, you don't know a party till you go to South Africa. You don't know nothing about a party till you go over there because they rock in a different level, you know? And what else did I know? What other differences have I noticed? I'm going to just say that for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's uncomparable. Like, you know, it's uncomparable.
But I also think maybe because even that duality you were able to experience, because at home you still had the essence of South Africanness, and outside the house it was America. So that duality was anyway existing even before going and stepping foot in South Africa.
Exactly.
You know,
I feel like my mom set that up for me very nicely. Like, I even lived there for like 6 months as a child, and I don't even remember. Like, I went to school.
Yeah, like every other
you know,
kid,
so like I was there, like my mom really made sure that I knew, and it didn't, you know, obviously there was differences. Like I came, I'm like, this is America, you know, they call you Miss America in South Africa,
and they call it Miss Africa.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so like I would go back, you know, and I can feel those differences. You know, like I sound different, I look different, I act different. But it's not different to the point where I can't hang out with my cousins and run around with no shoes or like be in the townships and go to the tuck shops. And like I was doing all those things, you know, interacting with my family because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is who I am. So.
I like that you use the word tuck shop, and I'm like, that's very organic to South Africa.
You know,
so you know.
I know the things. I know the things.
It's not a bodega with it. It's a tuck shop.
It's a tuck shop. Yes, you know.
But that's beautiful. And I'm just interested now with just that duality that it could be very consuming. You use the word overwhelming, but you said it in a good way earlier on. But it could be a difficult space for someone else to find an advantage in that difference. You know what I mean? And not have it overwhelm you to the point where now you're choosing an identity.
Right.
And you're settling in that identity and rejecting another.
It was never a struggle for me to choose because I embraced all of it. For me, I don't feel like I need to choose at all. You know, especially being in a place like New York where it's a melting pot of cultures. I never felt the need to choose. I just knew that I was Black. And whatever that meant to me was just, you know, who I've become today.
Yeah. Were you that kid in school that was like in every cultural and art class and like in stage performing? Like, what kind of student were you?
So I feel like I have such a special school experience because like my elementary school that I went to was pretty much a theater arts elementary school. We didn't even call teachers by their by Miss. We called them by their first names.
Oh wow!
You know, Miss, Mister. That was not a thing. So that also shaped things different for me. I feel like I don't mind calling someone Miss something because when I got to like to middle school and high school, I knew what to do. You know, I can't call a teacher out their name, but I feel like they set us up in a way where it just really empowered us. And every morning we would sing. And we would get into auditorium, like, you know, when they gathered the classes, they would have us in the auditorium. We would literally sing like at least 5 to 10 songs every morning. Every single morning.
Wow.
And that was always special to me because the songs were lit too. They were like, we were singing like the Beatles and like things like that. And I was very heavily involved in like all kinds of things. That's where I started playing the violin. And I played that for many years, going on tours with groups and things like that. I've always loved dancing, so we had dancing classes. We had drumming classes with African drums. We were acting too. We were painting. We were just very like that. I was just a kid that liked to get her hands in and do things creatively because I've always been such a creative child. I've been doing it since church. My mom made me sing in the choir. She made me praise dance. So doing all of that was not anything new to me. I was very shy, quiet. I definitely was a champion for Africans because, you know, I don't know if you ever heard of this term, African booty scratcher.
I've heard of it. Actually, now that you say, I've never asked what does it mean. I've heard it, but I just don't know why people even.
It's exactly what it is. It's an African that scratches their ass.
What reason though?
It came from some like movie or like some kind of cultural reference.
Okay.
I want to say it came from like one of those like old black movies where they just had a stereotypical African and they was like scratching their ass or something. But so you know, I was getting called that. But like I told you, I've been going home every year since I was a child. So I would always make sure that I would come back with pictures showing them like, hey, this is not a hut. I was on the beach. Yeah. My family has beautiful houses. This is the kind of music we listen to. Like even in high school, and you know, we'll get to which ties into how I've even gotten to this point today. Like why I'm trailblazing a movement. My best friends will tell you. Every time, like I told you, every time I would go back home, come back with like a gang of CDs, a gang of things that I've got, like Zulu beads, like the Zulu skirts and whatnot, and who have you. I would come back with all of that, show my friends. I would make mixes, and like I actually did like performances at school with like DJ Cleo tracks, like putting on my friends. Like I've been putting on my friends to South African music since I've been going home. You know, so being able to do it on a greater scale now is just like a testament to, you know, how far I've gone.
And I mean, as a child, obviously you're not right now. You can see it as what it is, as trailblazing. But I'm sure as a child, it might not have been that thought behind
at all.
You know, behind that. So at that time, was it a matter of distinguishing yourself or perhaps emphasizing the beauty and realness of Africa? Do you know what you thought about it at the time when you were younger?
Just what, like Africa and like,
just like
with my mindset.
Yeah.
I had a point to prove.
Okay.
That's what I did. I had a point to prove because I'm just like, y'all acting like y'all know about Africa and y'all don't know anything. And that to me annoyed me.
Okay.
Because I'm just like, I'm so proud of who I am. And it's a big part of me. And y'all looking at me and y'all calling me an African booty scratcher. This is crazy. Y'all not even giving us a chance to, like, you don't even want to learn, which I get it, though. We're kids. We were young. But I was just very determined to prove a point. I was like, yeah, no, I just came from vacation. My mom just spent a lot of money on this plane ticket. Y'all going to know about what the hell I was doing back at home. Because what I did back at home was beautiful.
It's cool, yeah.
We're not living in huts. I don't got a lion as a pet. Like, come on now. It was definitely, like you said, what would you say? Kind of like... I forget the two things you said. Was it
to basically to not even pioneer, because that would be something that we're using now, but to solidify and just to put into context what exactly is happening back home.
Yeah, what it is to be African.
Yeah. And even the movies at the time, the media at the time were not doing us justice.
It wasn't helping. It wasn't, and I get it. You know, I get it. It wasn't helping, which is why I felt like it was my duty to do that. And as a child, all I knew was that, like I said, I had a point to prove.
And a big responsibility that being, as you said, like back, and I wouldn't even say back in the days, because now it feels like I'm talking about like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah, it was so
close back then. But there's been an influx now of specifically South African population. So back before this time, there was at that point again to prove was at a strong emphasis. But you said you were a shy and quiet child. So how did you balance being a voice of reason and being a voice of an entire nation and continent,
I know,
but also being shy and quiet and maybe introverted, would you say?
Yeah, I'm an introvert, extrovert. Like I love my moments of solitude where I'm just like, but then I think my extrovert comes out when I'm like doing what I love and doing things like that, you know, like proving points, letting the girls know what the tea is, you know. And yeah, I've always been shy, but I've always been popular.
Okay.
So it was kind of easy to like, not even to toot my own horn, but I like to hang out with everybody. I was just like, I'm a social person, so like it didn't really matter. Like, you know, people just kind of gravitated towards me. Even now, people just gravitate towards me, you know, and I just be standing there sometimes, you know. I can be very quiet. Like, I'm more quiet. I'm very quiet. It's like people think I have this huge personality, which I do, but a big part of me is also like very observant.
Okay.
But I managed it. I don't know. I just think anytime something comes over me where I feel like I need to say something, I'm going to make sure I say it.
Yeah.
So that's how I balanced it.
I'd describe it as a confidence, because what confidence does is it empowers introverted, extroverted, whatever you might be.
Yeah.
Because there could be some extroverted people who have no confidence to say things that they're meant to say. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, it stems from a level of confidence that empowers then you to be able to voice out and have that draw, because people can feel that they can, and then they gravitate towards that. But I also feel, I think personally, having, you know, when I met you first time I met you, was it's your aura as well, and the intentionality in which you do what you do, that is like, she's cool. She's cool.
Confidence is the word.
Yeah.
That really gets me far. There's nothing like being sure of yourself. You know, I'm a Leo. People like to say we're cocky, but I like to say I'm sure of myself. That's what we are. And it's not even to prove a point to be right. It's to like give people some optimism and like get your head thinking a bit, even if I might be wrong. Yeah. But most of the time, I'm not.
But also, another thing is that to be able to get to a point where your confidence is so solidified, you need to be good at something. You need to be able to have something to say that, you know what I mean? You have to be. So I think that positioning, do you think that in school and when you were pioneering it back then, because we're going to come into the pioneering you're doing now, which is on another level. But when you're pioneering it then, because that also gives us context to where you were able to get the drive to pioneer. This context now of us understanding what you were doing in school. Right. But when you were doing it then, what was the broader context of just you doing it? Did you, how do I even put this question? Like, did you think about the confidence and how it was going to impact your career and what it is that you're trying to say? Or were you really in just a space of just being like, I know what I have to say is worth being said, and I'm going to continue saying it until you understand the importance of this being said? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then also having been in culture, playing music, how did you then start saying that I'm going to utilize, or why did you start feeling like you want to utilize this art form to still continue saying what you want to say?
So I'm a nationalist. I will say.
Interesting.
I'm a nationalist. I love who I am. Yeah. And I think that was just it. I'm just like, people need to know about other things outside of themselves. Like, it just felt natural to me to just want to do it, you know? Yeah. I'm trying to get the first question you said.
So let me switch quickly. Just like that, where that confidence really was.
A two-part question.
Yeah, like if the confidence was it was an intentionality type of thing where, when putting it on, you know, the idea of having it, embracing the confidence to then make sure that this point is being put across, and then utilizing an art form to put that across. Because there could be any other way. You could have been in the politician or someone who's doing organizational work and advocacy, etc., etc. did finding music, let me put this question this way, did finding music then become a spark of an idea that maybe this is also how I could advocate for this voice that I'm saying?
Absolutely. One thing I know is that music is universal.
Nice.
And that's the one language everybody can speak, and that's the one thing I'm really good at. I'm really good at music and entertaining and evoking emotions through my art. So, you know, as a child, doing it then and putting people on about who I am, I felt like the best way to do that, to express that, was through music, honestly. Um, and in so many art forms, you know. First by going, like I said, going home, bringing back tracks for my friends that I know that they would enjoy, you know, because I got good taste. And I know my friends, we have similar tastes, and I know you're going to enjoy it. And they loved it. You know, they taught us so much in school. They opened up our minds to a lot of things. So I already knew, presenting it to them, that they would just like enjoy it. And then they would want to know more about the culture. I feel like that's the quickest way to really get people to understand, is to like show them. And that's what I just knew. I was just confident knowing that what I'm presenting to my friends, they'll be able to take it and do whatever they want with that information. And then as I got older, I really started to find my identity through music. Really.
Yeah.
That's really how I found myself. I've been doing it, like connecting, even just in the church, just connecting with God in my own way. My spirituality was always through music. And I've always felt like my purpose is to, you know, spread my culture through music and dance and experiences. And yeah, that's really my purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we see that translated now. Like, you know, when you watch someone and you're like, I feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing what you're meant to do. And it's something that you can feel as well without even them saying it, right? Without even them knowing that. I feel like there's two ways, and it's something that I've identified from an American, like from an outside looking in, that in people in the music industry in America, there's two ways in which they would have identified that they want to get into music or fall in love with music: either the church or their family members were musicians.
Yeah, and my family is a huge musical family too. So I got everything. And you know, South Africans in church.
I know.
You know, South Africans, and they love God.
Yeah. So singing in the choir, was that something that you fell in love with while doing it, or you wanted, or to also be part of it? And you were like, I want to just be around music, whether in the church, at school, whatever. I just want to do it.
Yeah, that was it. Simply, like, that's how I express myself. That's where I feel like you get to see the best part of me, is when I'm doing anything related to entertainment and music.
Yeah.
Because I excel at it. I'm good at it.
You're good at it.
I know that much. And that's why I feel like I have the confidence within myself to, as a child, be able to show people, like, this is who I am, this is where I'm from, learn about it, get to know it.
Yeah.
You know.
And why was a violin an option for you to play? Was that the first instrument you played? And why did that resonate with you the most?
Honestly, I don't know how it resonated with me the most, but I've always thought it was a beautiful instrument.
Okay.
That was like the program that I worked with is called Opus 118, and they come to like public schools and they teach kids classical music, and it was either the violin or the cello, and I just love the sound of the violin, like just music in general, and it just really, even now, like I love a string, like I love orchestra. Nice. I love strings, like I just love the beauty of the sound of the music. Because I have, the church is mostly like piano, so like I knew a lot about that already, and just the phonetics of that and how that sounded. But there's just something sweet about the violin. It's just like so tender. It's very like, it's a special sound. Yeah. And I had great experiences playing the violin. It helps me today with my DJing. It helps me today with my producing, because I have the music theory behind me. Yeah. And that's why I feel like my experience with what I'm doing now is it's great because I have that background.
And it's so beautiful to know that your artistry stems from a solid foundation of music, because that helps us understand the choices you make and the decisions that you make within your music and what informs them. So that's just amazing to know. So then, elementary school, middle school, when then do you start deciding that this is what I wanna do? This is something that I wanna kind of put a lot more effort into, train myself into. When did that decision come about?
For the violin or music in
For
general?
music in general.
I've been doing music since young, so I knew then, like a good maybe like 7 years old. I knew.
Nice.
Yeah, because my mom, she has always empowered me when it comes to music, because she also loves music too. She grew up ballroom dancing. She grew up in the church singing. You know, we used to sing in church, like my mom, my mom, and my cousin. We used to sing like in a trio. So it's just something I've been doing that I know I've been passionate about. And my mom just put me in programs to like see what it is that I wanted to do. And music always was number one. So from young, from young, like I can't even recall because I've been doing it for my entire life now, you know? And I just knew that is what brought out the confidence in me, you know, as a shy kid. I'm like, I'm quiet and, you know, I stay to myself, but I know that I can shine through music.
And let the music do the speaking. So by being behind, so you said you were playing the violin and touring and, you know, being in a band or an orchestra. What did that teach you about stage and performance? Because it's not behind the scenes, but it is kind of in an ensemble.
Yes, exactly.
What would you say having that experience taught you about the complexities of the stage in and of itself, and of just performance and of a crowd, before you got the one who was the main talent on the stage? What would you say it taught you?
Discipline. It taught me to be patient, because like learning a piece is not easy. It's not easy at all. Like you get a paper in front of you and you're just like, okay, what are these notes? I'm like, well, how can I make the piece my own too? You know, how can I let it like shine through? Because everybody's gonna perform a piece differently. It gave me the experience of like, it just gave me such a wide, like, it just opened my mind, honestly. Like playing that kind of music just really like widened my brain cells. I don't know how to explain that in the best way, but it made me be appreciative of all kinds of sounds and audiences and people, because you meet all different kinds of people in those spaces. The experiences were endless, like, honestly. And it taught me how to work well with others too, because we all have different parts that we're playing in this one piece, but we have to make sure we all sound good together. So it, you know, taught me community. And yeah, resilience. I feel like it gave me resilience too as well. Like playing the violin it's not an easy instrument. It's not. That thing is not easy to play.
Yeah.
And I wasn't also the best note reader too. Like I didn't. You ever watch that movie Drumline?
I think so. Is it the guy with the drums?
Yes, Nick Cannon.
Yes.
So
yes,
like
yeah.
he wasn't. I always make this example because that was literally me. Like I didn't do well with reading notes. I really didn't, but I have a great ear.
Okay.
So like a lot of the times, like you can play something and I'll just play it back. You know, so it really trained my ear. Like playing the violin really trained my ear. You know, although I didn't have the best knowledge of like reading music, but over time I did get better, and they trained me where I was able to understand in my own way. But yeah, child, playing the violin taught me how to have a good ear for music, like perfect pitch type thing.
Yeah. It's interesting to know that, like, just like these layers, because you know, seeing someone on stage and seeing them perform, but not knowing some of their background.
Yeah, people just thought I just went and started.
Yeah.
I only started DJing in college too. Like I didn't even know I was gonna become a DJ.
Yeah.
I knew I would do something with music, but I didn't know that DJing would have been in my stars. Making music, yes, but DJing, no, because I don't have a DJ background. I don't know any DJs. I've never had a mentor. I taught myself. Like I had no idea that I would even get to this position.
Nice. What are you studying in college?
Journalism.
Oh.
I got my degree in journalism. I sure did.
Still in the industry to some degree?
Yes.
A little bit?
Yeah, for a while I was not using my degree, child. But I do use it now. Like I use it in so many ways, especially with social media being the force of being an artist and having to do everything yourself. Sometimes shoot yourself. Sometimes make your own graphics. You know, editing audio, doing production. Like it's I'm still doing it in some kind of way.
Who knew AQ was a qualified journalist, everybody? Now the question I have is, then do you feel like starting or becoming a DJ, was that something that your community was kind of requiring or asking from you to say, AQ, we want you to give us something? And it was kind of, again, that responsibility that you had in school to continue to advocate for a sound and to continue advocating for a voice that... Where were you in that time with that?
When you put it like that, honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah. I'm not even going to lie. Like, now that you really put it like that, I think naturally people did want to always see me doing music. Like providing the music, because naturally I would do that anyway. So like people would always turn to me, like, ask Khadijah to play the music. You know, I would be carrying speakers, like huge speakers, to the park, to the beach with my friends. Like I was always the music person, and the reason why I even began DJing was because I was making dance mixes for a dance team I was a part of, and I was doing it on like this DJ software. And then I realized I was DJing. I was like, oh, snap, I'm definitely DJing right now. You know, making these mixes and having them mash up together for this performance. And then, boom.
Interesting. And what was the dance, what was the sound in which you guys would dance? Was it hip-hop?
Yeah, hip-hop, reggae, dancehall, soca.
Yeah.
All the things that you would hear on a college campus. Afrobeats, too.
And what was the group? Was it a college dance group or got you a community or?
It was a college dance group. So I went to 2 colleges. I first went to a community college called TC3. And I don't remember what the name of our dance team was. But me and my friends literally were just like making dances in our dorm room. And then we just like recruited our friends. And we were just like, yeah, we're just going to start dancing now. So like, you know, get yourself together. Because they also are dancers too. So we was just like, okay, we're making these routines. I'm making the mixes. Let's form a team. We formed a team. Then we created events and we did flash mobs on the campus. And then once I got to the second college, which was Buffalo State, which is where I got my degree, the dance team I was a part of was called Legacy.
Okay.
And I first started out as just dancing.
Yeah.
But then eventually I started making the mixes because naturally I was doing that anyways. And they knew I was like, you know, had aspirations of DJing, and yeah.
Wow. So now when we see you dancing on stage, and then mixing at the same time, it's a perfect picture of your performer, mixer, college kind of experience,
exactly.
Right?
I tell people, I'm like, if I wasn't a DJ, I would have been a professional dancer.
Oh, wow.
I'm more than sure of that. I'm like more than sure of that.
Interesting.
So yeah, I've been dancing my entire life, like professionally trained. I don't dance as much now, but when I feel the groove, when I'm DJing, I'll dance. And like, I'm not like an Uncle Waffles dancer, DJ dancer performer. Maybe I can be one day. Maybe I'll explore that and tap back into, you know, that passion of mine. But yeah.
Ah, this is getting so much better. I'm like,
I know I don't talk a lot about myself because I don't know. I'm just too humble sometimes.
You let the music do that.
Yeah, I let the music do the talking, and whatever you find out about me, you find out.
I was having a conversation with someone, and I think this person was from the DMV, somewhere in the DMV, or is it VMD? What is it? DMV. And they were like, Vuyo, I was on the car, and the Uber driver was playing radio, and then there was this person AQ who was playing a mix. Like, who is this AQ person? And they said, and the radio, and they were like, they said they're from New York, and you live in New York, you should know who this AQ person is. And I was like, oh, you heard, literally. Cool. And I was so excited when I heard that and that conversation came about. So it definitely is like the time now.
Yeah, that's lit. I love hearing things like that.
And but they were excited about the music that was being played, that you were kind of pushing and playing on the radio. What made you decide to, again, start that pioneering adventure that you had been doing and been going on? Because before you started playing, I stand to be corrected, but I do believe that before you started playing Amapiano in New York City, it might have not been what it is today.
You're correct. She's correct, y'all.
Why was that a decision? Because Afrobeats is what is closely associated with Africa,
and that was the beginning.
Yeah,
I will always credit Afrobeats for setting it off for African music. Because without them, we would not be where we are today.
And what was the first style of music that you played? Was it Afrobeats, or have you always kind of played South African centric sound?
The first I was open format, so I played everything like hip hop, reggae, dancehall, soca, Afrobeats. But when I started DJing, like I was doing like birthday parties, old people events, my mom's party. So I was playing like a lot of old school South African music, Kwaito, like those disco-y records, like things that like our parents listened to back in the days.
Yeah.
But I played everything. I played a wide variety of things, and I played a South African house too. But the change came when I decided, I was just like, everybody's playing the same thing right now. I'd rather, be different. I want to be different. I want to be unique. And I love this music. Why not bring it to the forefront? You weren't really hearing it like that amongst my peers. I wasn't hearing it. I would hear it because I would play it. But outside of that, you'll hear the regular things that you would hear at a party. And I just was like, basically, I'm just ready to take it to the next level. And a lot of people tried to tell me to not change up too, because they just felt like it wouldn't. They just felt like it wouldn't have worked. But if I would have listened to them, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that's the one thing that I have that I know about myself, is that I have a lot of patience, especially when I believe in something. I will see it through. I'm not expecting to get results instantly because that's just unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew my purpose was to do that. I don't know. I just felt really strong about it. And I just felt really strong about just pushing the culture, because nobody was really doing it. I felt like there wasn't a woman doing it for real. I mean, I guess a woman my age, because there are other women DJs that were very prominent in the community, the South African community, though.
Okay.
Even like DJs like Black Coffee and like Clulo the Song, like they were doing a lot of events in the house music community, in the the Southern African community. Until obviously they blew up and like they're like superstars now. But you weren't really hearing it in my age group. I wasn't hearing it in the clubs I was going to. I was hearing Afrobeats, but you didn't hear any other kind of African music. And when I came along, that's when it switched up.
What was the first Amapiano song that you heard that you were like, turn up the volume?
Oh my goodness, I don't know the first Amapiano. I don't know I don't know the first Amapiano song I've heard. I don't, but I know the first experience of when I heard Amapiano.
Yeah.
I was in Soweto. I was at like a Shisanyama somewhere, like on Villa Gazi Street. And I just remember sitting there, and Amapiano had such a distinctive sound. It was very piano. It was very piano.
Yeah.
Like I think even that year I had went to I went to a New Year's Eve party, and everything started off fine, but then like eventually the guys who were playing music started like creating music, and all we wanted to hear was like Omunye. That was that year.
What year was that?
2016, maybe 2016,
Yeah.
17, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
And I just remember them, like every time I think of this, I'm like, yo, they were actually playing Amapiano, and we were just like, yo, what's going on? Like, you guys are just playing music that we don't even know. Like, you guys are just making music on the spot. So they were doing that the entire night. And now that I think about it, they actually were playing Amapiano.
So they had the actual piano.
Yeah, they had an actual piano,
okay.
and like they were making beats on the spot. Like, it was so funny. But yeah, that was one memorable experience. Another one was when I went to Soweto and I heard it at the club.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, this is hot. A few tracks that were like prominent was like Namba Namba was a pretty popular one. That's when Amapiano was faster.
Yeah.
I feel like some people might say it's Amapiano, people will say it's not, but I say it is. What else? Ibatakai, that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty popular. I feel like that really set the tone for Amapiano. And so many pioneers that are doing it. Kabza, Kelvin Momo, Mdu, TRP, DM Tuda. It's like a lot of people that have been doing this for a long time. That even MFR Souls. Yeah. A lot.
And when you heard it, were you able to figure out what distinctively stands out about it? You said the piano.
Yeah, the piano element. The piano element, the log drum. Those two, like you could, because Amapiano started, it was very jazzy. It was like deep house. Yeah. It was like a mix between deep house and like Afro. But like it was just that medium, you know? Like obviously the beat is very like African, you know? But then the piano's like, you know, it's very jazzy, very sultry, very like, but it had a groove to it, which I feel the log drum brought that element of the groove, you know? It's just like, what is this sound that I'm hearing, you know?
Yeah. And how then coming back was then the decision to let's take this and let's blow it up.
Correct. Yeah. Literally went home, came back. I was like, yeah, no, it's over. I'm playing house music. Literally. Now that you say that, that's literally how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah. And nobody was playing it. Absolutely nobody.
But that's a big responsibility. I mean, not even a responsibility because you put it upon yourself. No one instinctively said, AQ, go and represent us.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I wanted to. And I feel like we were lacking. There was something lacking in the space. I'm like, everybody's doing the same thing here. I have to dare to be different. Yeah. And I don't care how long it takes. As long as I feel good doing it, and I know that it will make others feel good because I have good taste. I trust myself, and the people around me trust me as well to curate the music. They're open-minded when it comes to these things. Like, they trust a lot in me, which I will always say I'm thankful for, like, people that support me because they trust me a lot with music. Like, and I don't feel a sense of like a burden. It doesn't feel like a burden to me at all.
And what was your first experience playing a set? Like, Amapiano music. Do you remember?
Of course, it was like people were not receptive.
Really?
People were, but then people weren't. You know, because also like that time period too, like Gom was still very popping. Yeah. Like Busiswa was killing it. You know, Prince KB killing it. Club Controller was out. Like Omunye was out. Destruction Boys was killing it. You know. But I was able to mix it in there because I'm like, this is South African music. They're going to like it. It's good. They'll be fine. And yeah, of course, there are a lot of people that would look at me funny or like walk off or like clear the floor. You know, I've had those experiences. It'd be like that. It was like that. It was like
Oh
that.
man.
Yeah.
And now to think about, I mean, anything that's introduced, people are gonna it's gonna take some time to introduce it to people.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But the not even the burden, I don't like to use these heavy words, but like the burden of having to set a foundation for something so massive, so big, which has now taken over the space, right? Any club now, every club now plays it.
Clubs, you hear it in the radios, you hear it when you're walking in restaurants. Let's not say burden, let's say responsibility.
Responsibility, yeah.
Because I felt like it was my responsibility to do it because I don't know who was. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know who was gonna do it. So I felt like it was me. I chose myself. I was like, me.
I'll do it.
I choose me.
Yeah. And then how did you then make sure that people are educated about the sound? Was there ways in which you were making sure that you're putting across how they should dance for it, how they should, participate in it? Because it's an entire culture.
Yes. For one, I made mixes a lot. And in those mixes, I would do like sometimes just straight South African house, which most of my mixes were like that at that time because that's when I decided to start playing South African house. So I would make mixes. When I was like, before I transitioned when I was making that transition from open format to dance music, I would mix like even back in college too with just like Afro beats because it's all teaching people this thing.
Yeah.
I would mix it with the music to make it flow nicely. Like I would mix in like Afro beats and then I would throw the Amapiano in there, but then I'll like mix it up with like some reggae soca. Then I'll kind of like it just flowed seamlessly.
Okay.
Like I would make sure that I would play something familiar to the ear. Like let's say I would play an Amapiano beat, but I would put like Busta Rhymes a cappella on it. So you have that relation there. You're like, okay, I don't know the beat, but I do like this a cappella, and it sounds good together. So I would do a lot of that. As far as the dancing, I would have what was helpful for me was my friends, because all of my friends at the time we were doing. We had a collective called Tropical John, and all of us were South African. And anywhere I would go and DJ, they would be there. So they would bring the vibes, and that's how we became popular and that's how I became popular too because they're like, who are these South African girls just coming through and fucking shit up? I'm like, and it caught people's attention because they're like, we've never seen this before. So I would literally just rock up with my friends, and we would just turn the place out.
Yeah,
Literally.
and you create and you brought South Africa because that's how it is when there's parties. It's like
even with the call
vibes.
and responses too. I would have my friend one time got on the mic. They did we celebrated Mandela Day. Got her on the mic. She dressed up. She was doing the call and responses, dancing in the middle. Had my friends, of course, bringing the vibes. Like I created the moment.
Okay.
Literally, like I created the moment. Anytime I would DJ, I would create the moment as if I was back in South Africa.
Yeah.
And that's how people learn.
And then it became a culture. When did you see that there's a shift now in the broader music space where this sound that you knew and you brought over, because also a big population of South Africans don't necessarily travel that often.
Yes.
So you being here and having been back home to then bring the sound intentionally when did the broader industry catch to the wave, would you say?
Definitely when you started hearing it in bigger platforms like movies, shows, artists collaborating with each other. And I think that's what's so special about what I've done is because a lot of these artists that are making this music, a lot of them can't travel. They can't get visas. They don't, there's, a lot of these people are making music in their back rooms. They can't go further than that. So I felt like I'm the perfect person as someone who is American born, who has access, who has a passport to go around, who has the accessibility to go to these different clubs in, these spaces and bring it because my people can.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what really, I just felt like a duty to do that because I know that a lot of these people can't they can't travel. They can't get out of their realities because they're hustling. They're making good music. They're making great music, but they're hustling, trying to get that music out there. So that's why people should never count out DJs, because DJs hold a huge responsibility in pushing music and culture. So, yeah.
And it is definitely a cultural movement now. It's beyond just music. Man, this is such a powerful story. It gives us context to just understanding and respecting someone a little bit, respecting this person's artistry a little bit better when we get to understand, you know, their journey and how what they've done has come about. And as I was saying, like it's now become a cultural movement. Now it's a way of being for many people. Do you know what I mean? Not only being South African, but also being part of this Amapiano wave, or part of this musical movement. Now that the world has catched up, because it has, how are you now seeing yourself in the space? Like, where do you put yourself within the context of just globally where this genre and this music style has gone? You proud of yourself? Are you ecstatic of where we're going next? Like,
yeah, I'm very proud of myself. I'm not nowhere near where I want to be in this thing.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near at all. And I'm excited to see where I go. Like, you know, I've done so much and I have a lot more work to do. And I feel like a very big part of it, you know, and I don't take away from the people that created the sound and the music, because without them I would not be able to play it. But also they must recognize the one that brought it to the forefront. They have to recognize the little people that are putting in the groundwork, you know.
Yeah.
And that's all I hope, is that, you know, I just be appreciated more for what I've done, and people recognize it. You know, what I'm doing right now, I don't need validation. I don't at all. I just know my contributions. I know what I've done, and I know that what I'm doing has a bigger purpose. And the aim is to work with these people. The aim is to continue pushing the culture on so that those people can get more opportunities to be able to travel and experience and see that people actually, you know, love their art and what they're doing, what they're putting out in the world, you know. I'm just the vessel, but I'm also going to be a part of it. I'm a part of it, you know, and I'm also creating my own story, making my own music, you know, exploring my sound, figuring out my sound, growing as an artist. I'm growing, I'm changing. It's a lot of transitions, a lot of lessons I'm learning. But I take it all in, and I'm thankful. And I do feel appreciated. People show me a lot of love, like a lot of love. And yeah, sometimes I'd be so humble, and I'm working on not being not being humble, but like I'm just working on being more forward about my contributions and what I've done, and being intentional as always, and being authentic.
Do you feel like the industry in and of itself, outside of the support of the people, because there's a lot of love for you from an audience point of view, do you feel like the industry shows you the same amount of support and pat on the shoulder for the contribution and the pioneering work that you've done? Or do you feel like there's a bit more love and support from the audience side of point of view?
Definitely a lot of love from people that support me. The industry, I feel like, is now getting privy to who I am and my contributions, which is why it's important that I come talk to you and to tell my story, because a lot of people don't know it, you know, and I can't expect people to know it either. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on telling my story so that people understand what I've been doing for years now. It's been so long. I've been doing this thing, and I have a lot more to do and a lot more to go. The story is not unfinished. You know, the industry shows me love. They could show me some more, but as we know, that's the industry. You know, you do so much, but you feel like it's not enough. And the industry will always remind you of that it's never enough.
Yeah.
They will always remind you of that.
And at the, we can, put it in any shape, form, or way, the audience being there rallying behind you, the industry needs to then also play its responsibility and play its part into ensuring that you are being put in those rooms, that you are being given the opportunity to share your voice and to really then stand out, because you are, and you have done that. So I definitely, as part of an industry, think that there's a lot more work that we need to do into highlighting people like yourself. What more do you think that collectively, as a space, as a community, that we could do, not only for the movement, but also for the voice that you are putting out, for the sound that you are putting out, that we could do to make sure that this movement is going forward? What do you think that we could all collectively do?
Just support each other.
Yeah.
Support goes a long way. I feel it's as simple as that. Supporting, collaborating, advocating. Those are the three things I feel like that can really help push it on. And being open-minded to, to change, to growth, to, and being just also being loud and proud too, of who we are. Because beyond the music, this is the culture.
Yeah.
We've seen it for so long now. South Africans have been singing through the culture. This is how we make it. So it's just being about loud and proud and just being authentic.
So what's next, AQ? And you did mention that there are so many things that you still want to do and accomplish in the industry, but what's in your heart? What's a desire for you that you have for yourself in this music industry?
Definitely music. Transitioning from a DJ to a producer. I've always been a musician, so my goal right now is to be a musician. Create art that is true to me, and that could mean anything. I feel like a lot of people think they know me and they don't. And there's a lot of nuances to me. There's a lot of things that I want people to discover about me. Like my sound, it can range from so many things. And I want to explore that. I really, really want to tap into that because I don't like feeling like I'm in a box. I don't like people thinking like they know me. I don't like that because you don't. You just don't. And it's not even like trying to like be a certain way. I like the element of surprise. I like showing people that I can do this, that I can bring something new to the table that you might at first be like, but eventually you'll be like, I see it now. I see the vision, and it's all about trusting the process. And I feel like people really trust me a lot, and they you're good. I feel like people really trust me a lot, and I'm really happy about that. Definitely bigger stages.
Nice. Do you have any like ones that's
yeah,
top
of course.
Of mind?
I mean, the major festivals, the Coachellas, Tomorrowland. I would love to play in Ibiza. I just want to play in places you wouldn't even imagine.
Nice.
Like that, and I can't imagine it. I don't know what it is, but whenever it happens, then I'll be like, that's it. That's something I never thought I could do. I can't predict anything. I don't want to predict anything. I want to be able to do things, and they're presented to me, and and they're on great scales, and they have purposes, and I just want to be the best I can be, the best version of myself, and yeah,
And I think it's definitely coming, like all the things and the spaces and the stages. Whoever is part of them is hearing this conversation, we want to see AQ. Okay, Coachella member, board members, whoever you are.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we want to see
coming.
AQ.
It's coming, child.
On those stages.
I'm really excited because I don't know what's next, but I know it's gonna be big, and I know it's gonna be fabulous. fantastical, extravagant.
All of the good words.
And I'll be putting on my people and my culture. Yeah, I'm excited.
And most importantly, you've put in the work. And
I put in my 10,000 hours. I need to see results now.
Yeah, you put in the work.
I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
So now I'm just ready to see what the next step is. And I've just really been honing in on creating things. So, yeah, I'm proud of myself.
We're proud of you too. I'm proud of you. You said earlier on that you are now kind of also part of a phase where you're letting people know a little bit more of who you are. And if one is asking themselves like, what's a typical day in AQ's life? What would that be? And also, second, on the back of that, when about to perform on a stage, you performed this past Saturday at Central Park concerts. Preparation for something like that.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So a normal day with me, I just literally wake up. I wake up and I just kind of lay in bed. I love to lay in bed, like, because I do so much. It takes a lot of energy going out on stages, interacting with people. Like, it takes a lot of energy out of you. So I like to just rest, relax, eat my favorite food.
Which is? We're getting to know you now. Like, all of it.
I love food. Oh, my God. It depends. So, like, I mean, for breakfast, I usually have, like, my mushroom coffee.
Mushroom coffee?
Yeah, not like shrooms, not like magical.
No,
mushroom,
but like
mushroom
what does
coffee.
What does that taste like?
It's like good. It's really good. It's really, really good. I drink Rise. Rise is very good, by the way. Shout out to Rise. Put some oat milk in there, some honey, because I don't eat dairy. Mix that up. Okay. And I don't like caffeine either, so it's caffeine free.
So the mushroom coffee is caffeine free.
Yes, like it has different kind of mushrooms, like lion's mane and like all those good ones for like just your body. So I drink that, get myself ready for emails, answer those back, chop it up with my manager. If I have a studio session that day, I'll go in, work on music, lay down ideas, concepts, and then afterwards maybe hang out with my friends, get a drink, smoke a joint, sleep, watch my favorite shows, eat my favorite foods. I love African food. I love West African food. It's so good. Like Senegalese food is...
Yeah, I know. It's good.
It's so good. Love Jamaican food. Love Thai food. Love Indian food. Asian and African food are my two favorites.
Okay. And
then obviously Caribbean with like Jamaican and everything else. But I love that. And then, yeah, I kind of just... I'm like a binge watcher, so right now I've been binge watching Love Island, the USA.
I've been seeing it's been trending online.
It's drama. And yeah, I really just like to chill. Like on my regular day off, I just sit there. I like to sit in silence. I scroll on my phone. Maybe I take a walk in my hood, go to my favorite local bar, get my favorite tacos, and yeah. Ride my scooter.
Nice.
Hang out with my best friends. They live down the block from me. Talk to my mom. Yeah, I swear, outside of my DJing, I live a normal life.
Yeah.
I just be chilling on the train, saying hi to people that I know in the street that have known me for years. It's what I do is my job, but it's a big part of me. And as far as like what my day looks like when I'm getting ready for a set, it depends on the magnitude of the set. My music is very organized, so a lot of the times I don't have to prepare anything. But for example, like this past set that I did prepare something, but not prepared to the point where I'm like, I'm playing this song first, this song first, this song. I just gathered a bunch of new songs that I downloaded that I wanted to play. And yeah, I just put them in a folder, and then I did my thing the day of. Got my makeup done by a homegirl of mine, did my hair myself, did my outfit myself. And then got on the Uber.
Wow.
And did the gig. And yeah, I hung out, like, my friends came over. We had like some champagne just to toast the moment. And then, yeah, I just go in and do my thing.
So there's a lot of calmness that happens before what we see on stage.
Always. I don't like to be like,
yeah.
I don't like to do a lot before a set because it can be nerve-wracking sometimes.
Oh, really?
But yeah, of course it can be nerve-wracking. But I know I always go in and do my thing. I'm never nervous about performing, of like doing my thing. It's more so the nerves of being around the people and like, you don't know who you might see and whatnot. Talking to people, keeping up with appearances is a lot. It can make you anxious. But that's just the scene that we're in. I always try to build connections with people naturally. I do not care to like go out of my way sometimes because I'm just like, in these spaces, it can get very overwhelming. You don't know what people's intentions are.
Yeah.
I try to be wary of that and protect my energy because now that I'm really out on the forefront and I'm coming to a realization now that I'm a celebrity, that I'm popular.
It's like, when it comes to New York City, as I said, like everyone's like, there's this girl called AQ. I need to know AQ, and she's like, you're definitely popular in this.
That's something I'm used to now because I mean it's just what I've my intention. Of course, I wanna be famous for what I've done. I want to be known for what I've done. I want to leave an impact. I want people to feel impacted with what I've done because I know when I do it, I feel good, and I want people to feel good too. So it's nice that people recognize me in that way, and I be walking down the street and people notice me, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy. I be like, so it's just a matter of just like protecting my energy in these spaces because people will know how to suck your ass dry.
What practices do you do to make sure that you keep centered and keep grounded and again keep your energy safe?
I feel like I'm a good reader of people.
Okay.
I'll never change myself. Like I'll never be like a mean person, or I'll always keep a calm energy. I'll give people respect, and I expect to get it back too. I don't really meditate. I'm trying to get into it, but I just honestly I don't really. There's no way of how I do it. I just give people the respect that I would deserve, that I feel like I deserve. And I just gauge, I have conversations with people. If they give me, if it feels natural, then I'll continue. If it doesn't and it feels forced, then maybe this is not the time and place for me to be meeting this person. The way people talk to you too, I listen to what people have to say. Like when people talk to me, I'm like, I hear you, Like I'm very empathetic. Like I can feel how people feel, and I see. I listen to what people have to say to me when they're around and how their body language is, and like, I look at all of that stuff. So.
And I guess that introvertedness is working to your advantage now.
Yes. I'm very introverted. I love to people watch.
Yeah.
Ooh. I just sit there. I'd be like. And people be like, you're so quiet. You're so like, and I'm like, yeah. I used to be a small talk person. I'm not a small talk person anymore. I don't say, and that's what has also helped me. I don't say what I don't need to say. Like I say just enough. And sometimes it can just be one sentence. And then I like to see how people gauge that because it can be awkward too for people when I keep it short and sweet because maybe they feel like they expect me to say more. And I'm just like, that's all I have to say right now, Because also I can be like a bit anxious too. So I try to not say too much than I need to. But then also there's a part of me too that's awkward and weird too. So like sometimes I let that shine. And I see how people react to it. I'm like, can you take my awkwardness, my weirdness? Let's see. Here's the test. So, yeah.
And in an industry that's so parasitic, so like it's, people come to you with intentions and like wanting to utilize your community. Like there's just so many things. Like this is a very difficult industry because of that. You said that you were able to read people as well. But what are some of the things that you've seen are some of the challenges that you've encountered as someone in the spotlight, as someone who's in that position, that people can take a lot from you? Like, what have you seen as some of the challenges, that some of the things that you've kind of gone through that have awakened a sense of discernment now that you have?
Definitely just people undermining me. People, I feel like people see me and they don't really know what to expect. They might think I'm a certain kind of way, but like people do weird things in this industry, man. They look weird, they act weird, they say weird things to you, they overstep.
Yeah.
I'm big on boundaries now. I'm working, because I've always been so open and like willing to work with others, and I still am, but not everybody deserves that energy. I can't give everybody everything like I used to, and that makes me sad sometimes. But it's just the way of the game. It's the way of the scene. I just got to make sure I'm intentional about the people I have around me.
Yeah.
And yeah, we go through weird things. People taking my music. As somebody has definitely took my music before. Being a woman already.
I was about to ask that,
Yeah,
like
being a
how
woman already.
navigating that in such a male.
Making me, because I know I'm sexy.
You,
so,
girl, you say you
sexy.
fly, you sexy.
I know I got it going on, but then I have to be wary because I'm like, what's going on here? Do you really rock with me, or just waiting on your moment? So I have to be wary about that too, because you just don't know with people. But so far it's been cool. I have a lot of male friends that support me, a lot of men that support me, and respect me, which is also interesting too, because I feel like for a long time men were running this thing.
Yeah.
And now, well, we know men have been running this thing for a while now. But, to see women doing it bigger and better is definitely a flip. Like, even like, I hate to say gender roles, but you can just see the men being empowered by women. And it's a different kind of reaction, versus like women being empowered by men. Yeah. I feel like it's interesting. It's an interesting flip, I will say. And I embrace it because it's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with bigging up your fellow homegirl that's killing it.
Yeah.
Like show her the respect that she deserves. So, yeah.
And which I said I was gonna ask that because the DJing, specifically that part of the music industry, a lot of females are singers, for an example, or vocalists, right? But from the standpoint that you stand in, we've seen that it's a very male dominated. Did you think about that when you were getting into it, or you were just like, this is what I want to do?
I didn't think about it much because even when I first started DJing, it was me and my roommate, a woman as well, and we were like, it was a bunch of men DJs, excuse me, and we were the only women, and we already knew we had a point to prove. Yeah. So I guess in the back of my mind, I always knew that what I was doing was definitely like different and like groundbreaking, especially on a campus where it's mostly men DJs. So yeah, definitely always thought about that, always. But I always gave the men a run for their money, so I was never really worried.
Let's put the decks here and let's see who's gonna play the best set.
Let's see. I like a challenge, and I was learning. I'm still learning today.
Yeah.
I was teaching myself. I didn't have any mentors. I had
really?
not one. Still to this day.
But you did say earlier on that having a background of music was
my mentor.
Yeah.
Was my mentorship. Trusting in myself and knowing that I can do it with that musical knowledge was my mentorship, honestly.
Wow.
I had nobody I could turn to.
But no one was doing it before you. So where would you even be able to even find that mentor? Because they didn't exist before you did. Right now, that even in of itself is just pioneer energy. You know?
Exactly. And they are like men, like my guy friends, like Mr. Sunshine and Chaba, who always pushed me to the forefront. They gave me like, tips that I needed to succeed, like they helped me out. Those are my brothers. I'll never forget them for what they've done for me. And I guess you can say that was like my experience of getting help in a way, but I really didn't have a mentor. I really had nobody to. I taught myself everything that I know. And, luckily I have people in my corner, my community that gave me the tools, that pushed me to the forefront, that gave me the opportunities in that way because they saw my potential.
So. And you also saw your potential before anyone else did. Because sometimes we are waiting for people to see our potential, and unless we find it and we maximize it within ourselves first, then will others be like, okay, we see you know what you're doing, we see you know what you're saying, and we're going to then support that.
Correct.
And rally behind that. That is absolutely, I mean, my heart is just so, my heart is dancing right now. I was just like, another question that I had, because you said you didn't have any mentors, so you taught yourself this art form, right? And would you say that DJing is a science or mainly a technical thing that you can just like figure out, and then once figured out, you'll be able to kind of play?
I would definitely say it's technical. DJing is very technical. It's not as easy as it seems.
Yeah.
It's not. There is a science behind it. You have to have the music knowledge. You have to have the ear for it. Like, people want to DJ, but not everybody's great, and that's okay too. I feel like you have to be a lover of music. You have to be able to you have to be a tastemaker. You have to be someone that brings something new to the table. Like, DJs are there to help people discover things. Like, you shouldn't want to sound like everybody else, like, at all. You want to bring something new and fresh. Or you could be that DJ that is okay with doing the bare minimum. There are DJs like that, but you won't get far. Everybody's vision is different.
Yeah.
And just...
It's definitely...
Yeah, it's just different.
It's a science that just requires a musical scientist that could then put together the elements. Yes. Another part of your artistry is your fashion and your sense of style. What inspires it? I mean, whenever I see your looks, I'm like, my goodness, AQ, how did you think about this?
Girl, when I tell you, I just be putting that shit on. I just be putting shit together. That's like my superpower when it comes to the way I dress. Like, I'm good at just putting things together last minute from my closet. And I thank my mother for that, because she's very stylish herself. She's always so swanky. It's like, you gotta look good, you gotta smell good. When you look good, you feel good. And that's just my motto. Like, even on my bummiest days, I think I still look okay.
Yeah.
Men are always bothering me, but they could just be like super horny, which is most of the time. But even then, like, I literally just be putting it on. Like, my manager always laughs at me because, like, some gigs I come and I'll be like, I don't have anything to wear. And then she'd be like, oh, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I always do. And then she's like, oh my God, you look so good. I'm like, yeah, I've had this in my closet somewhere and I just threw it on. And that really be the case. Like, I just be throwing shit on. Like, I buy clothes. I love to shop. Shopping is very therapeutic for me. Okay. I love clothes. I'm not like a brand whore. Like, I don't care about those top brands. I'll go right to my local shop. I'll go to Rainbow. I'll go to Mystique. I'll go to Soho. I'll figure it out. I'm going to get an outfit. I'm going to go to H&M. I love H&M. H&M is my store.
They should rep you. They should pull through for you.
H&M, they just always have, like, nice things. I can always get, like, something quick, boom. And yeah, maybe when I blow up and I have the money to buy the designer things, I will get there. But I don't really care for designer brands. I feel like you know, the power that I have is like just being able to like put something together at, you know, at a bargain or whatever. and it looks like expensive.
Yeah.
It looks expensive.
Yeah.
Cuz, you know, yeah, it's just how you put it on. That's it.
So that also speaks to the fact that your individuality, the fact that you don't even think of, because one would think that these outfits are curated and they are part of like, oh, this is the AQ brand, but hearing that it's just the stuff that you like and the stuff that you put on says a lot about just you authentically coming across as, you know.
Yeah. I dress fly, I look expensive, and I love that. It makes me feel, I feel like it also empowers other people to like tap into what you have in your closet, make it look good, make it work for you, add accessories, you know, do it up, put a lot of perfume on, douse yourself in perfume, put some glitter on, you know, you gotta make it individual to you. Like I've had even just like sometimes my friend styles me and like designer things, and I love it too because it's like, it can be simple, you know, or maybe it'll be like extravagant, but it'll look good. You know, I can do the designer stuff. It's not hard for me to do that. But you know, I just do me. I just put on whatever makes me feel good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a big one of those things where you're excited to hear the music and see the look.
And see the look. Okay.
But I remember seeing the look from the Saturday performance that you did, and I was like,
I did that myself.
With those glasses, girl. I was like, yeah.
And I love accessories.
Okay.
I love accessories. Like, oh my God. Rings, bracelets, earrings, necklace, everything. I like to shine in gold. So, you know, I think I'm just, yeah. Whenever I put it on, put it together, it looks good.
It looks good. I love it. This is getting to know AQ chat. Like I feel like we've just been chilling here.
Yeah, we have been.
We're just chatting. It's just like, you know, catching up. The summer is still very fresh. Not fresh. We're right in the middle of it, right?
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, we're in the home stretch. You know, I guess we're in the third quarter of the summer. We're like entering the third quarter of the summer, right?
Yeah, kind of like. Yeah. And you've been playing. You've been out there, performing. And you perform mainly at night, right? At events that happen mainly in the evening, sometimes during the day. Like Saturday was a full-on day event, so the whole day. How do you keep energy for those evening performances? How do you make sure that you have? Because as we said, there's people, there's music. Like it could, I would imagine, require a lot from you. So how do you keep up with it all?
A lot of people don't believe this, but it's true. I sleep for about 7 to 9 hours a day.
Okay, so after the performances?
Every day I'm sleeping for about 7 hours. Before and after. It don't matter what it is. I like to get my rest. Okay. Because if I don't rest, I'm going to get cranky. And I make sure I prioritize my sleep because, yeah, it's good for my brain. It's good for my body. It's good just not being like worn out. I make sure I rest. Okay. And that's just what it is. Like, and that can be like anything. Like I don't listen to music sometimes before my sets, or I don't listen to the kind of music I'm going to play. I listen to something else. Even after my sets, I ride home in silence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in complete silence. Even on the way sometimes, silence. Like, I just need, like peace of mind. Just peace of mind. That's my whole thing.
I see. So what we see on stage is an extension of just this calm and collected AQ, and that's beautiful, man. Like, so as I was saying, it's summer. Where you playing this summer? Where are we expecting you to be
you'll
at?
See. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned, child, because now the fall is coming. I'm going to be doing some traveling. I do have a headlining show in Portland in August. And what else? I got just other things going on. Some cool, exciting shows coming in the fall. And then next year, even more exciting shows. So we'll see. As the calendar fills up.
AQ, can we expect music anytime soon?
Oh, yeah.
Like from you, an EP, some singles, like
yes, music.
Give us something. Like what?
Yes, there is something coming out in August.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah,
that's literally next month.
Tomorrow,
this month.
Right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So I do have a track coming out in August. When is this meant to drop?
Next week.
Okay, I'll say it. Okay, so I have a song coming out in August. It's actually gonna be a bonus track to my EP that I just dropped.
Okay.
I won't say who it's gonna feature, but it's a well-known artist in the dance music space in the American market, who I've been working closely with on my EP and the label. So that is gonna really take my EP to the next level. Because I'm excited for that, because having her featured on it is a big deal, because she is prominent in the dance music space, especially for people of color.
Nice.
So that's dropping August 30th.
Okay. You gave us a clue. It's a she.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just keep guessing. Wonder who is gonna be.
It's a woman. And it's gonna be really cool. I think people will really enjoy it. Making that song with her was really fun. And remixes. I'm working with artists that I love. I have a remix I'm dropping with Shermanology, a remix that I'm dropping with Kaiser. And just original stuff, and definitely more music.
Definitely more music. More music, more energy, more vibes, more performances.
Yes.
It's exciting.
It's
exciting. And as I think this conversation has helped me understand, the person behind the music and the person behind the stage that we get to celebrate so much in the city. As I was saying, the audience loves you and the audience appreciates you so much. I am hoping the rest of the industry continues to pour into you as well.
Thank you.
Because I think you deserve all of the good things that are coming, because they're on their way.
Yes,
they are on their way.
I'm that's one thing I'm not worried about. I'm a patient queen.
Yeah.
I'm a very patient queen, and I be chilling.
What does your mom say when she sees you performing?
I don't think she fully understands what I'm doing, even though she knows I'm doing what I love. But I just think I'm also working on sharing things with her more.
Yeah.
Not saying that she doesn't support me. She supports me. She is my biggest supporter. She's, like I told you, she's put me through so many, things to discover myself as an artist, as an entertainer. So she's always had my back. So she's not surprised that I'm doing this. I just think I need to do better with showing her what it is that I'm doing. But she actually follows me on Instagram now, and I'm her only follower. And she's my she only sees my things on her page. So now she sees, I send her stuff, and she hears about me from other people too. So it's really nice, and she just wants the best for me.
I can imagine.
Yeah, she just wants the best for me. And I can't wait to be able to, really help her out for real. And because she's done so much, I can't wait to be able to give back in the way that she poured into me.
That's beautiful. Do you have any siblings? You don't have any?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do have 5 sisters, 2 brothers.
Are you the eldest?
I'm in the middle.
In the middle, okay.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. Yeah.
Okay, okay. No, that's amazing, man. And I'm sure she's just whenever she sees on the Instagram, and it's this celebrity, and it's wait, it's my daughter though.
Right, I know, right? Yeah, for real. So
that's amazing.
Definitely surreal, but she loves to see it.
We love the moms that support their children, because I also think without that support, it can be even a longer road.
Yes. Ooh.
But with that support, it makes it a little bit less harder. Mm-hmm. And what does Harlem say? What does your community say when they?
I see people that I knew from college, and they just always big me up all the time. People, anytime I see anyone from my past, they're always I see you, girl. I see what you're doing, and it makes me feel good.
And I remember you went to South Africa and did a bit of a tour over there as well. How's that audience been, the reception over there?
They're receptive. South Africa is a tough crowd to please, I will say. They do not play when it comes to music, but they receive me, and I receive them. and they give me the opportunities, you know, in that market. Like, I'm here in this, New York is my market, but my goal is to be able to go to South Africa often and be able to play without any hesitation. And yeah, just grow. I'm still growing in that market, which is fine with me because, you know, I understand why.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they receive me well. I've played there many times.
Love it. Do you have a South African name? Do you have a South African name?
Yeah, it is.
What is it?
It's Nosipo.
Nasipo. And now I can't take that out of my mind. Like,
yes, that's my middle name.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Which means, for those who don't know, it means gift.
Yes, the gift.
She is a gift, yes. And she is our gifts as a community, as music lovers.
So fitting,
right?
So fitting for me. I know. And my mom, she explained to me how I got it. She's like, yeah, honestly, like, you were just like a gift. You came unexpected. Wow. I was not even supposed to be up in here. So now I'm here and I'm fucking shit up.
Yeah. Oh, that's I wouldn't have thought of it. I wouldn't have thought of it, but that's lovely, man. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to put on the table? Make sure that everybody knows before because we're going to come back again and again and again on the show, obviously. Course, but like in this moment, in this time, like anything you want to make sure to say to audiences? What words of thankfulness would you like to also share to your supporters who've been
honestly,
rallying behind you?
Honestly, thank you guys for all the support. Like, I'm not done. I have a lot of work to do. You guys trust me a lot, which I'm very thankful for. Having y'all support me makes me feel good. It makes me want to keep going. And, you know, y'all always big me up. Always.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, always give me my flowers. And I'm just like, I'm very grateful for that because, you know, just to be recognized and knowing that I'm impacting people in that way makes me feel good. It makes me want to continue and grow and make these transitions. And yeah, you know, bigger stages are coming. More music is coming. More recognition is coming. More opportunities are coming. And yeah, always let them know who brought Amapiano to the States.
The one and only.
Yeah.
The one and only.
Just let them know and scream it. Because you already know who it was. So thank you. Well, South African dance music to the States.
Yes. And as an audience, we say thank you
thank you for having me. This was lovely. Lovely. 10 out of 10. Shout out to the Vuyo show.
Yes. Thank you for saying yes to just also saying yes to this calling. I'd like to see it as a calling because I think it's something that boils inside of you that you can't say no to, that you end up to end up having to do. So it's a calling. So thank you for saying yes to the calling. And I think what art does to people is it takes them out of, because for an example, you being on that stage, people have so many problems and issues and struggles. But the hour, 2 hours, 15 minutes, whatever time they spend with you, they forget about all of those. You know, they forget about these challenges that they're going through at home. And you have that opportunity to do that for them.
Yes.
Do you ever think about that like that way?
I do. It is a moment for you to be free, and I always tell people like the party never stops. Like, just come, join me, enjoy yourself, enjoy the music, enjoy the vibrations, and just let go for however long it is, and trust me in the process. Yeah, give me the trust, and I got you.
That's it. So it's a beautiful calling that you have. And,
thank you.
You know, again, thank you for saying yes to that. And thank you for sharing yourself, because that's what you're doing as well. You're sharing yourself, a part of who you are, with the music, with the mixes that we get to see. We're getting to see you. We're getting to understand you, because the way in which you do them is authentic to you, right? So sharing yourself as well, your shy and lovely self with us as an audience. And for continuing to pioneer a genre, a movement, a culture to the world that before you did it, no one else was. And now there are others doing it because you did. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Now there's others have confidence to do it as well because you were able to pioneer that. So thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Man, ladies and gents, I told you. You see? I told you guys. I told you that I am going to bring you the best of the best. And this is one of the people in the city that for the longest time I've been wanting to sit down with, but also because of just this concept of seeing a bold, confident, bright and beautiful woman who is doing what she has been called to do, which is music. And you can see that beautifully translated on stage when she gets to perform. So go check out AQutie on the socials, because everyone wants to know, like, where do I find this girl? Like, where do I find this girl? Let me know, Vuyo. So where do they find your music? And also, how do they make sure that if they want to have you come and bring the vibes to their spaces, places, events, etc., how do they get hold of you? So share that info.
So my Instagram is AQutie with 3 E's. So AQUTIEEE. You can find me on there. And anything for bookings right there
in the sex
in the bio. I linked my manager, Tay, fabulous manager, love her a lot. You reach out to her and she'll get you sorted and come correct.
Correct. Make sure you check out the summer, the fall, and just the all-round times when you can see her. I'm gonna let you know now. You want to see her on stage because she definitely brings the vibes. But that's all we have in store for you today on the show. I hope that you had a fantastic time listening to AQ and I just catch up, because that's literally all we were doing is catching up, but also getting to know AQ a little bit better, so that as you see her on stage, you understand the women behind the music. So thank you at home for tuning in, and thank you for watching The Vuyo Show on social media. Across all social media platforms, we are at The Vuyo Show. So make sure that you share your thoughts and go show some love on YouTube as well on at The Vuyo Show. Subscribe, like, to all the things that are meant to be done. With lots and lots of love from myself, your favorite global darling, Vuyo Jaboder, and the one and only AQT. It is goodbye and have a fantastic one. Ciao. Just for now.
Yay.
Yay.
That was fabulous. Thank you.
That was fun. That was so much fun.